Hello and welcome to Liquid's new strategy guide series for Vault of the Incarnates, the new raid releasing alongside Dragonflight. I am Telegon, and with me today is the lovely Eiya.
Hi everyone!
In this video, we are going to be breaking down the mechanics and strategy for normal and heroic Eranog, the first boss in the instance. Eranog is a two-phase encounter consisting of a main phase and intermission. These phases alternate for the duration of combat. In the main phase, you fight the boss and the adds he summons as you slowly fill the arena with pools of lava.
And during the intermission, the boss runs to the center of the room to summon a circle of linked fire elementals. These elementals slowly converge on the center of the room, forcing you to kill one to break the link and escape. Once the remaining adds reach the boss, you continue on to the main phase, as Eranog becomes active once more.
Now, let's break down the main phase. Being the first boss of the instance, it isn't overly complicated.
The main mechanic of this phase is called Flame Rift, where the boss debuffs 5 players who, after 6 seconds, explode for a medium amount of damage in a small AoE, drop a lava flow, and spawn an ad which fixates a random player. You should get 3 of these casts before the intermission.
To deal with this, we suggest the raid stack behind the boss, and simply move in front of the boss to drop lava flows as they get Flame Rift. By doing this, we not only create a neat stack of puddles behind the raid as we drag the boss, but we also group the adds under the boss where they should die quickly to cleave damage while being easily controlled as they attempt to reach their fixated targets.
Between casts of Flame Rift, the boss has a few other, less impactful abilities, the first of which is a frontal called Molten Cleave, which targets random players. However, the time to resolve is fairly high, so it should be fairly simple to move to safety as necessary. On Heroic, he also periodically spawns sets of Molten Spikes. There will be brief visual indicators before the pillars come up from the ground, so simply avoid this visual to deal with the mechanic.
The boss regularly casts Incinerating Roar, which deals damage to all players and destroys any molten spikes present in the arena. This cast also applies a stacking dot to all players, so healers should be cognizant of the fact that as the phase continues and subsequent casts stack this debuff, there will be more raid healing to be done. Fortunately, the length of his intermission causes these stacks to drop, so the mechanic itself doesn't impose any kind of time pressure. You should get 4 of these casts in the first main phase, adding 1 to this number each subsequent phase. As the spikes are destroyed, they leave patterns of swirlies on the ground. Simply avoid these as they happen.
Upon reaching 100 energy, Eranog will run to the center of the room to cast Collapsing Army, summoning a circle of fire elementals around the edge of the room, which after spawning become linked by fiery beams.
The boss does not take reduced damage during the intermission, so as long as you have the damage to kill 1 ad before the elementals reach the middle, you are free to allocate the rest of your damage to the boss at this time.
For tanks, swap tanking the boss as necessary. Make sure to move the boss consistently and rarely so players may more easily place their Flame Rift. Also look to help control the ads if your class allows.
After the remaining ads reach the boss, he becomes active once more and we return to phase 1. And we rinse and repeat until the boss dies. I'd expect to get 2 intermission phases and 3 main phases, with the boss potentially dying fairly quickly after the second intermission, looking at maybe a 5 to 6 minute fight. To summarize briefly for each role, DPS and healer players drop your Flame Rifts in front of the boss and look to use a defensive if necessary. Stack behind the boss otherwise while dodging frontals and swirlies on heroic only. Focus down the adds in both the main phase and intermission as necessary. Even as a healer, you should be able to contribute some globals here. As a healer, you should be aware that the players who have Flame Rift will be taking damage when the debuff expires. Otherwise, keep in mind the raid will be taking more damage as Incinerating Roar stacks.
With that, we very much hope you found this guide useful, and please don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave feedback or commentary in the comments section, and make sure to keep your eye on this channel as more guides will be coming out soon. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we will catch you in the next one.